Hello, I'm Alan Keays, and I'm joined today by Brent Curtis, and we're here to provide you a look at some of the stories we're working on for tomorrow's paper. The big news that's happening today is there's the debate taking place, the Vermont Public Radio debate, at 7:30 tonight, where obviously Governor Shumlin and Scott Milne, the Republican, Shumlin, the Democrat, and Milne, the Republican, as well as other candidates, will be participating in that debate. We'll have that in the paper. Hopefully, we can even have it online. It's supposed to be filed by 9:30 or so. Also in tomorrow's paper, we'll have a story about Governor Shumlin again, where there was a press conference that happened up in Montpelier. Neil Goswami was there from our press bureau, where he talked about the fight against opiate addiction here in Vermont. And I guess he had some numbers and some statistics about how things are going on that.
Interesting.
It is.
Can't wait to see that.
Yeah, and also in tomorrow's paper, we'll have a story from Brandon, from Aaron Mansfield, about a petition that's been submitted to change the way they vote in town to a floor meeting.
The paper ballot is mostly how it's done, and now they want to switch back to a floor meeting. That's interesting.
From the Australian ballot to the floor meeting. And also in tomorrow's paper, we'll have a couple stories from Brent Curtis, who is back from vacation in Cape Cod.
Yes. Rumors of my demise are greatly exaggerated, Alan. Well, I've got a couple of stories about familiar cases to anyone living in Rutland County. One is about Alex Spanos, the man accused of the homicide and murder of 17-year-old Rutland High School student Carly Farrow. His trial is set to begin in November. However, it's probably going to be pushed back. There's been a motion to continue it. We've also learned where the trial is going to take place. There was a motion to change venue in that case, and it looks like it's now going to be heard in White River County in front of Judge DeMauro, who's the judge that's heard it all along. Speaking with Carly's mother today, or her mother's companion today, there's no objection from their side about that. So that's looking for it. It'll happen. It looks like it's probably going to take place in December or more likely January. And other news there, the other news is about Dennis Doobie, the man accused of killing his 2-year-old stepdaughter in February, Desiree Sheldon. He, as some of our readers no doubt know, he's been out of jail after posting $250,000 bail earlier this year. Now, Mr. Doobie had a number of conditions of release placed on him, including one that he observe a 24-hour curfew at his residence, and that he only work under verified, or only leave that curfew for a handful of things like verified work. Now, the Herald learned, and this subsequently was confirmed by the AG's office, Attorney General's office, which has tightened up his conditions of release, that Mr. Doobie was living in a tent for a period of time this summer on land off of Sagamore Road in Pittsford, where he was living at a house in Pittsford, but now he's for a period of time he was living out of doors and also in a trailer on Whipple Hollow Road in Florence. There's been no violation brought against Mr. Doobie because the way that the conditions of release were worded, it didn't specify any residence in those conditions.
Wow.
So.
Even a tent.
Yeah, so law enforcement or anyone else going to it was could not say exactly where he lived. Also, he was under it did not specify in the conditions that he had to tell anybody if he was changing his address. So, other than his own lawyer. They tightened that up in court earlier this month. And Mr. Doobie is now living in that residence on Whipple Hollow Road in Florence. So that's what I've got today.
Just one other thing that we have going on, but a lot more going on. But one other thing I'll highlight here is Brianna Allen was up in Killington today, where Representative Peter Welch was speaking at a business roundtable event, and I believe it's going on as we speak, which is kind of a late afternoon here. But that's a look at some of the stories we're working on.
Have a great day.